All right, thank you all for coming out today. Schaefer and players Jordan Danbury and Maya Taylor. We'll have Coach starts with an opening statement and then take questions for the players.
Well, good afternoon. Good to see everybody. Again, just really proud of our team and our kids. I just think they've shown some toughness and resilience. And last night, playing an outstanding Arkansas team, and just was happy for the outcome for Jordan. She deserved that night, along with my managers. You know, my managers are part of the A team. Those guys have been incredible, and I just appreciate them so much for who they are and the kind of people that they are. They're good. They're great bulldogs. They're givers. They're selfless, and they do so much for our kids and my staff and I just appreciate them so much, and I know these two appreciate them as well. And of course, they're behind the scenes and don't get a lot of credit for anything other than they're what make us go and really take care of our players. But just proud of the night, proud of our fans that were there last night, 7,200, and just really loud. And now we got to get ready and go on the road on Sunday, and play a much improved Mississippi team. So as I've told my kids, we have so much to play for. It doesn't matter who's the next one on the schedule. We've got to get ready, and we've got to go play and play well. And we've got a lot in front of us, and we need to have great focus and have a really good couple of days, and then we need to go play well on Sunday.
I'll take questions for the players. Start with Brian and then Tyler.
Jordan, it's the final game of the regular season, and you're playing a team that is winless in the SEC. What's your role this week? I guess just today, keeping the team focused and making them look past that record to what you have to do on Sunday.
Just letting them know that it's the SEC, and any given night, it could be a different outcome. Like I know Coach was just telling us about a team in another conference who got beat by a team, an undefeated team got beat by a team that hadn't won in their conference at all. So, Hartford. So, just letting them know that you can't look past anybody in this league because every team is good, and you just never know what to expect.
Going into last night's game, the talk was that it was going to be a high-scoring game, and it was. But that's not really your game. You're not looking to score, but you still go out there and have 7 assists. So what was your mindset kind of going into that game, and how do you feel like you played in a game that was, up and down like it was?
I just believe that I just stay within myself, do the things that I've been doing that's been making us successful and get the win. Being able to just distribute the ball to the people that were hot, like Aaliyah, she was really hot last night, and so making sure she gets the ball in the right position where she's open, just things like that. So just contribute the way I can, playing defense, assisting the ball, scoring just on a needs basis. But last night we had players that were hot, that were scoring the ball, playing really well, so I just did my role to get the win.
Obviously this has been a learning experience for all of the girls this year. What have you kind of learned about yourself and being at a very important position after, 2 really experienced guards came in before you? What did you kind of learn about yourself so far this year?
I would say the accountability piece. It's very tough, like I always say, but I have people in my ear, like the coaches, to always put me in positions and reminding me that I have to be accountable for this team. We have a very young team, so just trying to show that to the other girls, and just being an example for them on and off the court, and just things like that. I feel like I've grown in that aspect of accountability, but I still have a long way to go. And so with this team and the coaches, with their help, I think I'll be able to reach that.
Maya, there's not a lot of Mississippians on the roster. You're one of the few ones. Do you have to have a role of explaining to the other teammates, especially the younger ones, what this game means to the state?
Of course, just like when we played them the first time, I just reminded them that this game means a lot of things to a lot of people and a lot of boosters and a lot of fans and things like that. But for us as a team, that is just another team in the SEC that we have to go against and that we have to get the win against. Just going to this game like every other game, being focused, and like Jordan said, she said it very well, we're not going to be looking at the record or anything like that. And any given night, anything can happen. So just going out and playing our best basketball and being focused and things like that so we can take care of business.
Tyler?
Joe, it's kind of a weird point in the schedule where this game on paper doesn't have any impact on where you guys are going to go, or what seed you're going to have going into the SEC tournament. So with that in mind, what can you do to kind of, because a young player on the team might look at that and say, we don't have to really show up on Sunday, but what can you do to make sure that, hey, like Coach says, you guys still have a lot to play for, and you do need to show up on Sunday and get that win?
Just preaching to them that we're still looking to get better every game, regardless of who we're playing, regardless of, the seeding in the tournaments. We want to get better for March, and we still got a ways to go. And I feel like we could be a different team in March as well. So just continuing to talk to them about that. And like Maya said, this game means a lot to a lot of different people. So we got to play for our fans, too.
Joe, we talked to you a little bit about seeing Aaliyah in practice every day and her development. Obviously, Maya stepped into a bigger role this year, and obviously you've played alongside her for a couple of years now too. But with her stepping into a bigger role, what's it like seeing her growth over this year and in a bigger role and in sort of more of a leadership role alongside you?
I definitely seen her take a lot of accountability for this team, for the younger players. She's just grown as a leader, as a person, and as a player. Gaining confidence every day. Especially with scoring the ball and stuff. She had a good game against A&M. So I just been seeing her grow in different pieces, and, I'm looking forward to see her next steps in her career. That's so sweet.
Any other questions for the players? I will dismiss them. We'll take questions for Coach.
Good job.
Start with Dan.
Vic, I think last night the rotation was only about 7 deep, give or take, and Azaria and Yamai played short minutes. Was that kind of by design or kind of how it went, or was that just
Kind of how it fell last night. I mean, I shook the lineup up last night. I just felt like we were stale. And I was prepared to either be blamed for it, or if it worked out, it works out. That's just my job if it works out. I mean, I think I'm pretty in tune with my team, and I see them every day in practice. And what I saw last night was what I'd been seeing in practice. Again, I didn't think we'd have Rakia, and we didn't have the normal Rakia last night. She was sick. And give the kid credit for gutting it out for 16 and a half minutes, but I really didn't think we'd have her at all. And so, again, you can watch all the film in the world and try to figure out how to stop somebody. And I've been down this road before, if y'all remember, when we played DePaul in the NCAA tournament here 3 years ago. Finally, at some point, you go, you know what? We might just have to outscore them. And I kind of felt like going into last night, that's what it was going to be. I felt like I knew how they were going to try to guard us, which is what they did. And if they were going to do that, then we need to have some people on the floor who can make some shots. And so that's kind of what my thought process was going into the night. And, we've got some kids that were pretty excited and ready for the moment. And that's what you coach for. And again, I think the lineup shakeup, as far as, we went with what I think is a better offensive lineup at times last night. Didn't start that lineup, but I got to that lineup. So it really had nothing. Those kids didn't do anything wrong. It's just kind of how it played out. And there was no premonition in my mind that Aaliyah Mathar was going to play 38 minutes last night. But, she got 7 rebounds. And I told my guards going in, if you're not rebounding, I'm not going to play you. I've been playing some guards that haven't been going to the boards, and I'm a little put out with that. And so if Aaliyah Matharo at 5 foot whatever can go get 7, we got some other guards that need to be making a better effort to help us rebound. And I thought she did that last night as well as shoot the ball well. And it's the hardest I've seen her play defensively all year long. And certainly she still has a long way to go there. But you know what? Last night there was going to be a trade-off, and I was prepared for it.
There's been some years where your teams haven't been playing that great late in the schedule going in the SEC tournament. That year y'all played DePaul, I think y'all lost 2 games to end the regular season, and lost to Missouri last year late. But those teams, I'm sure you felt pretty confident about them turning it on. Does this team, you think, need to have that confidence going into SEC play with a couple of wins late in the year more than maybe others that you've had?
You know, I think each team's different, Robbie, and I think sometimes with young kids, you got to keep them on the edge of their seat. You know, and I think with this group, I think that's my evaluation of them. And quite frankly, we've got so many kids that are very similar in skill set that, you know, I pay attention in practice. I pay attention to who's coming in early to shoot. I pay attention to all that stuff. And so, you know, I just think that, you know, for us right now, we've got some kids that are continuing to work hard and get better. And but I've also got some players that I have a lot of confidence in. You can look at their stats and judge them by all you want, but there's some of them I know been to the wars and they've gotten it done before. They know what it's like, and I have some confidence in those kids. So, you know, this is a different team, y'all. Y'all know that. We're just young, and so sometimes I think you gotta, you know, I just thought we needed a jump start last night, and that's why I changed some things up. And you know, stay tuned. Y'all have seen I've had some different lineups all year long. We're probably going to be different.
Kind of going off what Robbie said, I mean, right now is when you want to be playing your best basketball going into March. A couple weeks leading up to last night, probably you'd admit that you weren't playing your best basketball, but do you think last night was a sign that maybe this team is ready to take that step and look like a team that can compete in March?
Well, I think what last night shows is that we've got some competitive kids, and we're not, you know, I think if you didn't play, you watch some people that maybe haven't played a lot, and now all of a sudden they played a lot and played well. And so, you know, you better not sit around. You better stay humble and stay hungry, because I think there's some kids that are hungry. And I think what that does, Tyler, is it just creates a competitive atmosphere every day, and that's how you get better. And we need that right now. We need it desperately. And, you know, I think, you know, when you're young, this time of year it can be a grind, and your toughness, you're just not very tough right now. It's just so easy to go, man, I'm tired. It's just easy. And in today's world, I mean, you just see it all the time. People just, instead of competing, whether it's in a job, the workplace, in life, they just throw up their hands and go, man, I'm tired. I can't do it. I saw something the other day. It was, I wish I could take a nap and wake up and everybody would be proud of me. You know, like a little kid. You know, that's what little kids do. They take a nap when they wake up, man, everybody's so proud of them. That's, you know, there's days where you probably feel like that. I mean, I'm sure there's days I probably feel like that, but that's not the equation for success. So, you know, I'm excited because I think we're going to have a competitive day today. I think we're going to have some real good competition, and so I think that's how you get better.
You know, Rakia's been very consistent for you all year, but it seems like this season, at least once, each of your freshmen has had a moment where you needed them and they delivered for you. And last night may have been Aaliyah's moment like that. Just for you as a coach, how confident are you in all of those girls to just, if I have to call their number, I can put them out there and I'll get what I want? Yeah,
I'm very confident in our freshmen, and I think that's the comfort I have in our future. I mean, I'm really excited about how young we are and what we've been able to do with this young team, and then thinking ahead into the future. I mean, that's what you can really get excited thinking about that. Adding the two recruits in Sydney who's sitting out. So, but in this team itself, I tell you my concern, other than Rakia, because Rakia's obviously played a lot of minutes, might lead us in minutes played. It seems like every one of those freshmen, when they come off of a great game, they can't stack them, which is typical of a freshman. And so my focal point today with Aaliyah is going to be, hey, humble and hungry, make sure you can get through the door with your head, because if you can't, there'll be somebody that'll shrink it for you real quick, whether it's Sunday afternoon or a couple coaches in the next couple days. But we're going to make sure we get the same thing out of you today in practice, tomorrow in practice, and then Sunday. I mean, that's your concern with young kids. And so, Jemiah certainly had some big games for us, some big moments in some big games. And Jayla, has played in some big games and had a lot of minutes and been a critical component. Going in last night, I really, I had every intention of playing probably everybody on my bench like I have every night. It just didn't work out that way.
Yeah, Ole Miss played Tennessee a lot more competitively last night than they did the first time around.
No question.
Just given the nature of the rivalry, their record, and their last home game, are you expecting to get their best shot on Sunday?
No doubt. I mean, they played Alabama to 1 within the last 2 weeks. Alabama, we know what they've done in the last 2 games. So, I mean, they played Tennessee last night after, earlier in the year wasn't good. But that was when they were coming off of losing their best player and were trying to figure it out. And I think they figured it out. And so, I'm absolutely, preparing our team today and tomorrow for an absolute war. I mean, I fully expect them to play well. They got nothing to lose and everything to win. And for us, we have so much to play for, but again, you have to guard against the ghost, and you can't. I can't begin to think what's in some of our kids' heads. You just don't know, and they're human, and also you don't know who they're talking to on the other end of the phone. Putting things in their head. So. All I know is this rivalry means so much to so many, and we need to continue to play well and develop some momentum heading into this part of the season. I think that's critical. Wouldn't matter who we're playing Sunday. We need to continue to get better, play well, and get going and peak here in March.
It's one quick question, then another. But are you expecting Rakia to be full go on Sunday? Are you still monitoring that a little bit?
I don't know that. Yeah, I hope she is. I don't think she's just feeling real good this morning. She's better in some regards. In some regards, she's the same. I think her throat's still bothering her. We'll see what her energy level is here. I was concerned about her energy level last night, and again, I would be with any of our kids. I've just seen sometimes how. If people can get run down when they have an infection or a sickness, and then the next thing you know, it's now compromised them into a worse thing, echo virus or a mono or anything like that. And of course, I'm not a doctor. I'm just throwing out names of stuff out there, but just worried about things like, I don't want to compromise them and put them in a position where they can get sicker. So that's my thought process. Again, I'm the son of a registered nurse for 32 years, and I can remember being preached to about that with my own, when I would be sick and have a competition, my mother would be concerned about things. So.
And then we talked about it with the bye week, but now you've got one game, and that double bye gives you guys kind of an extra day worth of practice. How important is that just going into either the SEC tournament and then just heading into March too, to have at least that kind of extended practice time?
Yeah, no doubt. I think it's big. Again, I told y'all we had coming off of going into this week, we had 7 days of practice, and I challenged them, can we get better? I thought we had a really good practice Wednesday. One of our better ones. Joe had a great day. And we did that, and Rakia was sick and wasn't there. And I thought everybody picked it up because they kind of felt like they were going to need to. And so I'm anxious for us to get out there today and work and see how we get better. And that's the challenge. You got today, you got tomorrow, and then you'll have probably 3 days next week. And can we get better? And I want us to get better. We're going to need to get better. I think everybody saw last year, you go into that SEC tournament, and probably this year more than any, we have so much parity. But anything can happen in that thing. And, top seeds get knocked off all the time, or higher seeds get knocked off all the time. So I think this year's proven we've got tremendous parity in our league. And so we're going to need to continue to get better.
You losing promise. Do you go out and try to add another big for next year, or does Sydney kind of alleviate?
Yeah,
some of
Sydney
that?
kind of helps us there a little bit. Sydney's going to be really a diverse player. She's going to be one that can really do a lot of different things for us, and I'm excited to put her in an offensive system. Might be different than what we're doing now in some regards, just because she can stretch it and shoot it. She's going to be able to pull somebody's big away from the rim if I put her at 5. If I play her at 4, again, she's a stretch 4 that can really open things up for whoever else we have down there at 5. Yamaya is going to improve. It's hard that first year coming out of junior college to come to the Southeastern Conference and play, much less come to the Southeastern Conference, be on a top 10 program, and learn how to practice every day and then carry that into a game. It's extremely challenging. And, somebody said to me, well, I was saying that it's just extremely hard and it takes time and you have to have patience. And at the same time, I need her on the fast track because I need her to play more this year. And, you can either be in this system and be in this situation on a top 10 program, competing at this level and maybe not playing as much as you want to, or you can be on a really bad team playing a lot or not playing very much. And so I think you get better in the situation she's in right now. And Johnny's working with her every day, teaching her fundamentals, going through fundamental drills every single day. That's been the secret to our success. It's not rocket science. It's just doing the fundamentals right every day.
You talked about some of the freshmen not being able to stack games on top of each other, but Rakia has done that so well that
Yep.
we almost forget that she is a freshman. Do you feel like, she's sort of been taken for granted what she's done as a freshman? And, at the end of the year when you finally get some time to reflect and assess, what she's done in her first year, what do you think that assessment will be?
Yeah, no, I haven't taken it for granted. I mean, as you know, I've had some pretty good freshmen here. I absolutely understand what I have and the impact she's had. That's my selling point for her being freshman of the year in our league and national freshman of the year. She doesn't have a couple of seniors that she just can blend in with or fit in with and doesn't have to carry the load. She's on a very young team. She's, Maya, the only thing harder than being a sophomore point guard on the top 10 team in the country is being a sophomore point guard on a freshman sophomore team with only one senior. That's extremely difficult. And that's, again, Maya's had a heck of a year for us. But with Rakia, she's done it on a young team. She is the focal point of a lot of people's defense. And so, she's not she's not maybe a second or third option, and she's just been able to sneak in there and get 17 here, 16 there, 15 there. No, she's the focal point, I promise you. And, what she's been able to do consistently night in and night out. And here's the thing. She's not only scoring a lot, but she's doing it shooting 48%. We all sit around here and talk about how good Victoria was. Victoria shot like 34, 35% her freshman year. Averaged 14 points a game, but I don't know what her rebounding stats were, but they weren't near what Rakia's are right now. And so I think that's the really what impresses me about Rakia is that she's doing it on a young team, and she is the focal point. So and look, she can do it in so many different ways. She finishes at all three levels. At the rim, mid-range, can stretch you to the three-point line. And she's very, very, she's just a multi-dimensional kid. And that's what's going to make her, I mean, y'all know this. Y'all been watching us long enough. You know that kid's going to be one of the premier players in all of women's college basketball in years to come.
Sort of a big picture college sports question. You're a coach who's had a lot of success with the transfer market in your time here at Mississippi State. Now this rule is being legislated, talking about allowing every athlete to have one free transfer. I just wanted to get your thoughts on that rule, and are you a fan of it? Do you not like it? And how does that issue work for you?
Yeah, I can probably take both sides. It's concerning in some ways, and in some ways, certainly I think if kids are in the wrong situation, they need to be allowed to have the opportunity. But it also, I think it, it's instant. Sometimes that instant, we're in this world of instant gratification, and all of a sudden you have a bad day or a bad week, and now all of a sudden it's just, let me try something else. Instead of learning to deal with adversity, that's how you grow. That's how your character is developed. And so I think there's both sides of it. But certainly if somebody's in a bad situation and not in a good place, then I certainly think it's beneficial for everyone involved and certainly for it in those regards.
Anything else? All right, thanks, Coach.
All right, appreciate y'all. Praise the Lord and go Dogs.